just don't do it. Just walk away. Or get the cozy sweater, and I just love it. Just thinking about it, I'm like, it is finally the holidays. Yeah. Gosh, if you are not excited about the holidays, I'm freaking out. Well, hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today is going to be such a fun video. I have been plotting and planning, and I am so excited to share my modern Christmas decor ideas with you today. I have to be honest with you. I'm a note taker. I love, as a designer, to really be organized about how I decorate my home. I like to think through what I need. I go through this time of year and start looking at what I have and my ideas of what I want to do, and I start looking for gaps. Or if I look back at last year's photos and I'm like, okay, one of the things, for example, I wish that I'd had more garland. I couldn't find enough garland of the kind that I had because it had sold out. So this year, I'm really trying to plan, make sure I know how I'm gonna decorate each of my spaces. And I like to come up with those ideas that are really going to be the fundamental things that I decorate in the house. So I am very excited to share my personal list with you. This is what I'm working on for myself. And I hope that you'll enjoy it and hit subscribe and want to stick around. And then if I mention anything, I always leave the links down below for you. But I don't know about you, but this time of year, I just get so excited and I just start to freak out because I absolutely love the holiday season. I am like the ultimate. For me, we just go nuts. We just go completely crazy. And I just want everything to feel festive and magical and sweet and a little bit glamorous. And I want to capture all of that with my holiday decor. And so that's why, to me, making these lists and checking them twice, oh yes, I went there. I think it's really important, and I think it helps take a lot of the stress out, especially with still having supply chain issues and things. A lot of the stuff is gonna sell out this year, and I wanna be organized so that, I'm not like, oh, it would have been so magical if I could have found one more of those garlands so it wasn't stopped halfway up my stairs. Yes, these are the kinds of things that I wanna make sure don't happen. So anyways, let's jump into these holiday decor ideas. I think you are going to love them. Hope you do. Please tell me, write down in the comments and let me know if you are a fellow holiday nut. Christmas nut. I don't know. It's not just Christmas though for me. It's all the days leading up. It's all the festivities. It's the feeling that you bring into your home. To me, that's so much more than just the one day out of the year. Like it's all of it. I love the holidays. So let's jump in. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys, I'm sure that you guys have too, been getting tons of inspo in your inboxes. I got a catalog from Neiman Marcus this year. I was like, whoa, I feel like I've arrived. And it's one of those things that it's so old school, and it's just so satisfying to be able to flip through Neiman Marcus's catalog and inspo catalog. It was amazing. I loved their stories, but they'd already actually put them online, and so I'd already gotten a sneak peek of them. And there was something about it that, for me, it reminded me of Christmases with my grandparents up in Chicago, and I cannot get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head. First of all, the home that they shot that they did the editorial in looked very similar to my grandmother's home. She had heavy velvet damask kind of wallpaper and Greek statues, and she was very extravagant, and the Christmases with them were just kind of loud and full of treats, and it snowed and it was very magical. And I'm like, I want to capture that feeling in our home. And I think the other place that's really done a good job of giving us a lot of inspo this year is actually CB2. I think that their holiday decor is just crazy good. Ooh, and Pottery Barn. I think those three, they just did something extra special this year, and I'm gonna be sharing a lot of the pictures as we go so I can share with you the individual items that have really caught my attention and how I'm gonna be using them. So the first one that I like to think about, and I obsess over this just a little bit, is the tree. I want the tree, let's face it, right? the tree is kind of the center point of everything. It really does set the stage for the room. And it's so funny because I've created my mood boards. You want to make sure you are a subscriber because you don't want to miss my next video coming out. I'm going to be sharing all of my mood boards, the items that I'm purchasing. I'm going to be sharing everything. I go room by room. You're going to love this video. But for today, we were talking, I was getting my mood boards ready and I was like, Jack is trying to convince me I should do a flock tree. And so I put a little poll up on my Instagram and 75% of people said no, keep it unflocked, and 25% said flocked. So we have trees. I'm assessing what trees we have. I usually go for the natural trees. And there's a few reasons actually, and these were the arguments that I made with Jack. He thought it just looks really festive, it looks very glamorous, and I agree. I think last year I did say I hate flock trees, and that's because we had one that shed so bad that I've forgotten. It's kind of like when you have a baby. You have to forget, so you have another one. So I don't think we're gonna do a flock tree. There's one sitting out in the garage. He's insisting that we get a flock tree, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't like the fact that it's a little bit harder to put the ornaments on them. A lot of times they do actually shed. I think that you just miss that sort of natural look. And for me, I like the green color in my home. You guys know I have a lot of green in my home and I think it's really beautiful. And so I think we're gonna be sticking with the trees that we had. I'm gonna give you links to the ones that I had from last year because they sold out and they may already be sold out. I think they clued in on the one that I got from a shop called Terrain. Some of you may not know about it. It's a sister brand actually of Anthropologie, and I just happened to see this brand. It's like a garden center kind of thing. I'm dying to go visit actually their main shop. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But the tree from there just looked so real. And then I have another one from Balsam Hill, and I have one from Home Depot. So, and then I was assessing the room. So assess your tree, think about how the green, how that's gonna look in your interior, think about the material itself, think about the color palette that you're gonna wanna put on it, think about whether you want it to look real or you want to have a little bit more of like, I just always think about like those tinsel trees, and there was sort of a glamour to something that was, I don't know, it was different. And I just think about that too. So I just like to look through all the options, and I like to be thinking through what I'm really drawn to. I do this before I start my mood boards because I need to be thinking through how do I want to feel when I walk into the space? What are the things that are really grabbing my attention? And then I'll start my mood boards next. So that's why you're not seeing the mood boards today. This is my first step. Okay, so next up, I think adding a touch of sparkle is, for me, it's what makes it feel like the holidays. And I realized that about myself. I was like, it's so funny. I think I'm so original. Like I've had this epiphany, and I'm like, I think this year I'm gonna go glamorous. And I looked back on my video content from last year and I'm like, I said the exact same thing. I told Jack, I said, I'm not very original. Every year, this time of year, at least for me, this is about having an extra sparkle in everything. And that sort of magic of the glisten of the crystal glasses. Every year my Waterford flutes come out. I love to have my Waterford flutes. I love to have some beautiful china. I love to have, it's like eyeing the Baccarat vases. And I like to add just a little bit of sparkle, not glitter. I think we've established that. If you've watched any of my recent videos, you guys know, no glitter. Every now and then on an ornament, okay? I'm not that bad, but I think that adding sparkle is really beautiful, and it adds this sort of feeling of magic. All those little details actually do make a big difference in the way in which a space feels. So if you want to add a touch of sparkle this year, skip the glitter. Just don't do it. Just walk away. But if you want something that's really going to add that sort of magic, I think that The crystal flutes, oh my gosh. And you know who else has good crystal flutes is CB2. They have some really beautiful flutes, and H&M actually had some. I think you can also do like smoky glass. I like to have a little collection, and I think that's really fun. And then we just kind of have a different one that we use. This time of year, I am definitely prone. The other day when I was getting like in full inspo, Jack and I sat in bed with the crystal flutes and champagne and watched White Christmas. So I think that's something we're gonna be repeating a lot this season because that was just so charming and sweet, and I just loved it. I think another thing that I don't actually own that I really want to add is a champagne bucket, and I've been looking at a lot of them. I looked at the gold ones that they have actually on Pottery Barn. I liked the picture that they showed and the way they had the champagne bucket and then the flutes with them, and I liked that gold set. I think the gold color just really caught my attention. So I've been looking around. I always look for the more expensive ones a lot of times. Well, I always look at the more expensive ones, and then I get a lot of inspiration from that, and every now and then I'll splurge on something if I find something really spectacular. But then there's places like Pottery Barn and CB2 that have something that's also really, really beautiful. The next way I think you should add a little bit of sparkle is with some candles, and I've got some favorites that I just absolutely love. I love the sort of glow that you get from candles, and I have been eyeing up the Baccarat, the Waterford. I really just love to add a little bit of just that actual sparkle in the container itself. I think that's really beautiful. And then of course the glow that it gives is just really warm. It makes it so inviting. I mean, you turn on the fire and you light your candles and you just get in the zone. You know what I'm saying? It's like the holiday zone. Don't forget the cozy sweater, and I just love it. I also think that you could go with a fragranced candle as well. Back here, I've got the winter candle. This is one of the UK's best sellers, okay? It is amazing. And I'm so excited to be able to introduce you guys to this candle. This is the winter candle from The White Company. It's a British brand, and they ship free to the US and other parts of the world. I'm not sure about what the shipping is for other parts, but I know for me, it was free shipping, arrived in a few days. That candle is the best candle. If you only buy one candle for the season, that should be it. It is literally the best thing I have ever smelled in my life. And that is saying a lot for a candle enthusiast. Now, I've got a couple other favorites. I've stole it from my office. I've been having this one going in my office the last few days, and I'm like, it just smells so good. It just smells so festive. That gorgeous mercury glass. Look at that container. Isn't that just wonderful? I really love the container. Every year I go back and get these, and then afterwards save the container because I'll use them as bases depending on which size they are. You can put a tea light down in them, and the tea light will warm the wax around it and release the fragrance into the room and really just get all the use out of your candle. They are extraordinary. I've got a long list for this next one. I've got a lot of different ways that I like to add luxe in, and I think that feeling of luxe at the holidays, there's something about how it makes you feel. I love a feeling of decadence at the holidays. I feel like it's like the one time of year where we just like pull out all the stops, and there's trays of cookies, and there's the candlelight and the glow. And one of the things that I think really just takes the whole thing up a next level is adding that feeling of luxury. And the ways in which I like to do it, well, there's a few. I love to add velvet. I think velvet is gorgeous. There's so many beautiful bedding sets out right now. I was eyeing up the ones at Pottery Barn again. I think they're so beautiful. I go back and look at those every single year. This may be the year that I finally just go for it and get the one from there. I've got the one from Target, but they don't sell the shams, and I really wanted a matching set, at least in the king. If you have a queen bed, they still have the shams for that from the Target set. But I noticed as well while we were in the store that they had some other ones. So there are some options out there for sure that are a little bit less expensive, and I will link up the one that I bought from Amazon. It's been a couple years, and I'll see if it's still available because that one was really good too, that I used on my client's home. Was it like 2-3 years ago? It was beautiful. So yeah, I'll try to link that up for you. But I also think that velvet placemats, velvet stockings, a velvet tree skirt, great. velvet pillows. Don't forget that one, because that one I'm definitely gonna be using in my own home. I think that these are easy ways to add luxury, and it just looks incredible. I also love to add a little bit of luxe with a beautiful vase. I think that that really just kind of takes things over the top. And a vase can be put in any room, and I have them in every single room, I think, in my entire house. I love to add a vase. It's my favorite way to add luxury. Right now I have the ones that are a little bit more cylindrical in this room. I think I'm gonna be switching some things out this season with some smoked glass. There's a lot of different places that have smoked glass vases in all different price ranges right now. You have some that have a little bit more of a luxury price tag, and then you have some that are really inexpensive from places like H&M. And then I also think that you could add a little bit of that crystal in through the vases. Again, like that baccarat. I mean, baccarat has been around since 1764. That is incredible. That just speaks to the quality of those pieces. And I was eyeing up some of the smaller vases, you know, if that's a little bit more budget friendly, okay? I really want one of the big ones. Just being honest, because I love the way that they cut the glass, and it almost looks like little studs. So I'm kind of freaking out. I really want one. If I'm really good, do you think Santa will bring me one early? I have to be careful not to mention things to Jack, because he'll just go buy them and not even look at how much they cost. But I really do love the baccarat. But I have some Waterford. I have a crystal vase that my dad brought home from Hungary, I think. This was like literally like 30 something years ago. He brought home some vases for us from Europe, and I like to pull those kinds of things out. And I also like to look at places like Pottery Barn, CB2, Crate and Barrel. I'll look at H&M Home. Has a lot of really cute stuff right now that just really captures that look of that crystal, but then it's also a lot more affordable. When we lived in Copenhagen, one of my favorite things to do at the holidays was to go and to look at their holiday table settings. They always had really beautiful table settings, and they always capture this sort of essence of the holidays. So I was looking at theirs for inspiration, and I just really think it's just so beautiful. And I'm hoping that maybe we've convinced you this year with our trip to Copenhagen and chatting about how much we love Scandinavia. Maybe I've gotten a few of you to order some Royal Copenhagen dinnerware and some cups and mugs, and just love what they sell. And yeah, so I was looking at what they had. This is, to me, the holidays are that time when you really just remember to pull it all out, and remember that, you know, I should be doing this every day. Why don't I do this every day? Like, this is the time of year when you just do all those things. But I also like to take all that glitz and that glam and those beautiful ceramics and mix something into them that keeps them feeling cozy as well. And the way in which I add that cozy factor into this sort of modern, sophisticated, glamorous style, there's a few ways that I add cozy in. Of course, I love to put down blankets. I really love the fur blankets. I've got one, I think, in almost every room. I also love wool blankets because they look really nice just over the arm. Back to the table settings, I love to put a rougher vase mixed with things that are a little bit more shiny and glossy. Linen napkins tied with a velvet bow. Like, that is just the ultimate for the holiday season. And it just feels luxurious, but it feels cozy and it feels special, and I just love it. And of course, one of the best ways to decorate at the holidays is to add greens. And I just love adding in lots of different kinds of greens. We always had a real tree, but Jack, we found out later, is allergic to pine. So I do a lot of faux. When the season gets closer, I'll put in the vases a lot of like the cedar and some of the other evergreens that he's not allergic to. Yeah, he's like, I'll know that I have crossed a line when a real tree arrives and everything in the room is pine. But I'm like, okay, no, we won't do that. But if you're like me and you're wanting to decorate early, it's not really practical to bring in a lot of real stuff. Boxwood is one that dries really well, and you could buy a boxwood wreath from Williams-Sonoma. Talk about a bucket list item. I would love to have that. But I also think there's some amazing faux stems that you can use to put in your vases. I've ordered a lot off of Amazon, but the company I was ordering from Amazon also has their own website. So I'll leave a link to both places for you. But I think actually Target had some really good stems. They've got some really pretty stuff. The other one that I was looking at actually was CB2. No, Crate and Barrel. Crate and Barrel actually has a lot of faux greens that I think are really, really pretty. And I really want them to look real real. And so it's hard sometimes to find those things. So I'm gonna link up all my favorites, not all of them. I'll link up a few of my favorites. Otherwise, you'll be overwhelmed. I think the other thing that you should be shopping for right now, for sure, you need to be shopping for your wreaths and you need to be shopping for your garland. That stuff will sell out really, really fast. And there's something so magical about having the fireplace dressed with the beautiful garland, the stairs being dressed with it. Oh my gosh, just thinking about it, I'm like, I can't wait. It is finally Christmas. It is finally the holidays. Yay, I'm so happy. Okay, so make sure you order garlands. I like to have a garland for the dining table. I like to have garlands for the stairs. Make sure you measure and order enough because that's gonna sell out. I've got, again, those same sources have really good ones of these. So I'm gonna leave you my favorites. I also like to put a wreath over the bed at the holidays. I love to have my big wreath and put that over the bed. I think I've done that for quite a few years. I just love it. I also love to add wreaths. Like if you have like some really pretty windows, you can add a wreath in your living room even. There's a lot of different ways that you can add wreaths. And of course, don't forget about the exterior of the home because now is the time to order all of the wreaths. I've got some for the front door that are coming. I've got it all. So yeah, oh my gosh, if you are not excited about the holidays, I'm freaking out. This is just the best time of year. And we are gonna get started decorating our rooms and we're gonna be sharing all of that with you. We'll be sharing also our tips and tricks along the way and sharing our rooms being decorated. I can't wait. I just can't wait. It really is just pure magic this time of year. So thank you for joining us for today's video. I hope I've gotten you thoroughly excited and pumped up for the holidays. You're gonna need to go and make a peppermint mocha. Peppermint mochas. Peppermint mochas. Okay. We've enjoyed the lavender. We've been enjoying the pumpkin spice, but I will know the holiday season is here when I have my first peppermint mocha. I may need one today. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you will hit subscribe because we have got some amazing content coming your way. If you're looking for someone who just ignores the holidays, sorry, this is probably not the place. We go nuts, okay? We just go nuts. The Christmas nut thing again. Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna have some fun, and yes, I'm gonna sip my not peppermint mocha. Somehow it doesn't taste as good anymore. And I'm gonna start daydreaming about my peppermint mocha. So yes, thank you again for joining me and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget, you'll want to watch Wednesday's video. I'm gonna be revealing my holiday color palette and my mood boards. And I'm gonna be sharing everything with you and you guys are it's really special. I think you're gonna absolutely love it. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.